Okay, so you should now be able to hear me now the mic settings are set up how they should be. So, hello and welcome to another episode of GNG News. Hope we're all blessed, hope we're all having a fantastic day and everything is going well. I have decided to play through the character endings for each character. There was 5 pages, so there's quite a few to go through. Unfortunately, you don't get to do the DLC characters. They don't have chapter endings. Only for Eliza, because she's a DLC character, but technically not a DLC character, due to the fact that she was a character that if you pre-ordered this game when it first came out, you got her for free. But if you didn't pre-order, she then became a character that you could buy either through DLC or in one of the character selection packs. So that is essentially what I did. She was £1 a couple of years ago, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to buy her, and I knew at some point I would come back and I would end up doing a video where obviously I showed you all the different character endings. So I thought, you know what, we'll buy a couple and we'll see if we can do the character endings. But unfortunately, they didn't decide to add those in. And I wish that they did one final update, because I know that we've got, obviously, Tekken 8 is being made at this current moment in time. So I don't think they're going to do any more updates for this game in that sense. But it'd be cool if they did. So Eliza is one of the ones that we're probably going to explore last. I think she's like one of the last ones. But yeah, I want to go through the different character endings, and I want you guys to see the reasons why. Because that's one thing I always really enjoyed with Tekken, is the fact that it comes up with each individual reasons why that particular character is competing in the Iron Fist tournament. Some of them aren't competing for glory, some of them are competing for the money, some of them are competing, just because they want to be a champion, so on and so forth. There's so many different reasons why people obviously join into the King of Iron Fist tournament. Right. Just going to get the stream up on my phone for a second to make sure that the audio is working properly, and if it is, we will crack on with this. But without further ado, let's press resume so you can see what's happening. Let's see. Is the audio working properly? There we go. Okay, so we unlocked the fist plate title panel. And that was the little character ending on the main story. So as you can see on the main story, we have done all the way to chapter 14 and then the epilogue. And at the start, I think there was a prologue. So we did the prologue up to chapter 14, then the epilogue, and then the special chapter. Now we have the character episodes. So I'll probably have to retitle this video to character episodes. But yes, there are 5 pages in total. Unfortunately, they didn't include the DLC characters. I really wish that they did, because, I think you guys would have enjoyed to find out their reasons for competing in the King of Iron Fist tournament. Because some of the DLC characters are from the Tekken universe. It's not like they couldn't have written a story in. They managed to write Akuma into the story. So, yeah, it would have been fun if we actually had those included as well. But unfortunately, we don't. So I guess it is what it is. The first one that's up for us to do today is Feng. Then we got Law. Then we have Bob, Brian, Horang, Devil, Jin. Which is a bit strange, because I thought they would have been in alphabetical order, but maybe it's just the order that is the correct order to watch them in order to get, I guess, maybe the full fleshed out story of Tekken 7. I might do a prediction video at some point in the future for the character rosters of Tekken 8. as I've seen some alpha footage which has been floated around on YouTube, which looks pretty sick. I've seen Kazuya and Jun have a fight. Jun is obviously Jin's mother, and Kazuya is obviously his father. And yeah, it was cool to see their moves. I also got to see Law versus Kazuya as well. And visually, it looks really, really, really glossy. I like the fact that the characters haven't changed up too much, because I did recognize a lot of the moves that they were using. Obviously, they probably put like some new added moves into the actual game itself, which is great. But I want to work out, you know, which version of the game I'm going to pre-order, because we all know that they're going to have several different versions of this game that come out. There'll probably be a standard version. I presume there'll probably be a special edition version. Game normally have like a steel book edition for a lot of games, which is normally about £5 or £10 more. So sometimes I go with those. You know, there's two types of collectors. There's digital collectors and physical collectors. I have a lot of physical games, and I have a lot of digital games, and they appeal in both ways, because sometimes you don't have the space to store, you know, physical games, and it's easier to do them digitally. It's not like you're ever going to lose that content. In that sense, and sometimes people like to buy steelbooks. There are a couple of games that I have got steelbooks for that, you know, just because I've liked that franchise that much, I've decided to go out of my way and try and find more content from them as I possibly can. So yeah, that's something I've delved into. Right, everything's running, everything's up and going. I turn my phone off so I get no distractions, because I did have somebody say to me before, Ross, people seem to ring you in stream and stuff, so phone is off. Just to show you as well, I have a brand new game that at some point in the future I want to do, maybe an unboxing video, might even potentially play the game. When I went to the London gaming event, I got Battle Axe, the special edition version, which is created by Numskull Games for the PlayStation 5. This version includes 13 tracks of the OST, and yeah, you can play this with up to 2 people, and I was told this is kind of like, essentially like Battle Axe. So that's something I'm probably going to do in the future. And I do have a Pokemon booster pack to open up at some point in the future. I have loads of content to do. I've also got a Boba Fett Micro Fighters set to put together. Interested to see what happens in the next episode of The Mandalorian as well. So yeah, there's a couple of things that are popping off at this moment in time, but hey, it is what it is. Anyways, I think I should turn the light on, close the curtains. And if you want to see more content like this from myself in the future, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. So, Feng. Feng Wei had always abided by what was written on the God Fist Scroll. Defend all masters and conquer their styles. Defeat all masters and conquer their styles. The perfect warrior transcends all to become the Dragon God, having fought masters of many different styles. Feng returned to his childhood training ground to continue his intense training regime. Then one day an unexpected visitor appeared before Feng, a mysterious man who eluded strength. When the man made it clear that his desire was to fight, Feng had no reason to refuse. He accepted his opponent's challenge in silence and prepared to battle.
Round 1. Fight. KO.
Round 1.
Round 2. Fight.
Boom.
You win.
And there goes martial law. Alright, let's check the poll. Kazuya is the clear winner with 48% of the votes. USA! Martial law. Preoccupied with paying off his son's debt, martial law didn't realize how many of his students had quit his dojo until he was almost too late. With a large sum still to repay, Law was running out of ideas. As a last resort, he decided to search for a capable fighter to run the dojo. He asked his friend Paul if he knew anyone, and in his usual manner, Paul said he himself would be the perfect candidate. However, thinking that the dojo would go bust in half a day if Paul took over, Law politely refused. Instead, he put the word out that if any strong fighter wanted to try out for the job, they should come and prove their skills in combat. Challenger after challenger appeared, but none of them were good enough for Law. Then one day, Law heard a rumor that a martial artist living in rural China was set to be the next God Fist master. Seeing this as the best chance yet, Law set off for his ancestral homeland.
Come and get some. I dare you. Round one. Fight. KO. Round two. Fight.
Oh, I love that punch. Ah!
KO.
Boom. That's a proper anime ending. But the reality is, Feng is too much. Ha! Bob.
I hope you're ready.
Bob entered the King of Iron Fist tournament to prove he was the strongest in the world. On the way to his match, the road before him exploded, blocking his way forward. The smoke cleared to reveal a lone man emanating an evil aura. Bob had no idea what was happening, but his instinct told him that the guy was somehow connected to the destruction around them. Bob's sense of justice stirred inside of him, and he vowed with all his might to defeat the man before him. As a red mist fell over his eyes, Bob forgot about being in a hurry and walked towards his opponent.
It's all or nothing. Round one. Fight.
Down we go.
KO. Round two. Fight.
Oh. Well, you saved the day, Bob.
Bob never made it to the tournament.
So Bob never got into the King of Iron Fist tournament. He had a fight with Brian and sustained some very bad injuries from a fall. Brian Fury is a dab hand at making enemies, but when you travel the world picking fights, that's not exactly a surprise. So when Brian appeared in a war-torn town, he took the opportunity to go on a discriminant rampage. With the world turned upside down by the constant fighting, Brian was in his element, so when a rotund, sluggish-looking man approached him amid the chaos, Brian could only lick his lips in glee at the prospect of a new victim.
Round one. Fight.
Brian Fury. Who remembers his entrance in Tekken 3? So iconic. Throws that tank. I've loved it, man. Absolutely loved it. Sit down.
Round two. Fight. KO.
And there goes Bob. Brian is just made for destruction. Dr. Abel made a crazy creation. Horang. Horang sees one man as his rival, Jin Kazama. Jin, CEO of the Mishima Zaibatsu, declared war against the world and is ensuing turmoil, vanished suddenly. Without a trace, suspecting there is more to Jin's disappearance than meets the eye, Horang vowed to track him down. With only a shred of reliable information at hand, he headed to the Middle East. After a series of dead leads, Horang heard word that a demon had appeared in the town. Without a second thought, he got on his motorcycle and hammered down there. When he arrived, the place had been deserted, safe for Jin Kazama in his devil form.
Round one. Fight. KO. Round two. Fight.
A step through kick, man.
KO. You win.
괴물 상태인 너한테 이겨봤자 의미 없다고.
Don't let them get away.
Saved your life, Jin. After he defeated Azul, Jin Kazama was apprehended by the UN troops and his unconscious body was being transported by helicopter. He became possessed by his devil form, ripped free from his straitjacket, tore through the helicopter fuselage with a powerful beam attack, and then escaped. Intermittently fending off the UN's attempt to recapture him, Devil Jin wandered to the desert until he stumbled across a town in the Middle East. His arrival at the town's bazaar sent the civilians fleeing for their lives, turning once buzzing settlements into an abandoned husk. That until a certain someone showed his face.
Round one. Fight.
Oh, come on. Broke you.
KO. Round two.
Let's go.
Fight.
2, 3. Come on. Times are hard.
어? 바보야 도망쳐! 으악!
Next up we have Lily.
Tu crois sûrement pas que tu peux me battre.
Lily entered the King of Iron Fist tournament again without telling her father this time. There she was anyway, smiling at the rapturous crowd looked on at her opponent entering the ring. Lily was set to fight Azuka Kazama, someone she had personally considered her greatest rival for many years. If Lily saw the look of annoyance on Azuka's face, it didn't show. She just walked elegantly into the center of the ring like she owned it, all the while thanking Lady Luck for the opportunity to fight her rival once again.
Donne tout ce que tu as, même si ça ne changera rien.
Round one. Fight.
Let's go.
KO. Round two. Fight. KO. You win.
Oh, je ne sais pas. Juste comme ça. C'était rigolo. Et tu le méritais pour avoir été tellement... toi.
月面になんてへんわ宇宙にも一発殴らせろ
Asuka. Since they first fought at the King of Iron Fist tournament, Azuka felt that Lily was taking the whole rivalry nonsense a little too seriously. Asuka recalls Lily's phone call out of the blue a few days earlier. Hello, Asuka. I am sure you have heard the news that the King of Iron Fist tournament is starting again. Worry not, I have already been gracious enough to register you for the competition. No trying to weasel out of it, you hear. I am ever so looking forward to fighting you. As Asuka let her rage towards Lily's presumptuousness fly down the phone, Lily hung up. Fed up of being treated like a rich girl's plaything, Asuka thought that maybe if she beat Lily, the conceited little princess would leave her alone. Then again, maybe not. Asuka wondered how she could resolve the situation, but came up with nothing. Eventually, she decided to go along with Lily's plan and entered the King of Iron Fist tournament.
Round one. Fight. KO. Round two. Fight.
Allô? Sébastien? Oui, comme prévu. Ciao!
なんやいきなり電話して。
Tu sais, aujourd'hui je vais emménager chez toi.
は？何を言うとんねん。
Et je vais apprendre les arts martiaux classiques de style Kazama.
は？
Détends-toi! Tout est réglé. Je viens d'acheter ta maison et ton dojo. Je sais tout de toi, Asuka. Ton père a été battu par Fenway, le tas de muscles qui pratique le Kenpo, et il a perdu ses élèves et son argent. Ta famille n'avait pas les moyens de réparer ton vélo, et encore moins le dojo. J'ai aussi étudié ton arbre généalogique. C'était très intéressant. On dirait que tu pourrais facilement être entraîné dans les histoires de Mishima. Oh, j'ai oublié de te dire. J'ai fait nettoyer ton dojo, et je l'ai fait décorer avec des pétales de fleurs. Ton père était enchanté. Nous devrions rentrer à la maison. Tout de suite.
She's just taken over your life.
おい待てや。話が見えん。話が。
Allez, dépêche-toi. Personne n'aime les traînards.
せやから話を聞け。
Ling Xiaoyu infiltrated the Mishima Zaibatsu building in search of information related to Jin Kazama's appearance. Creeping deeper into the enemy territory under the guards houses, she eventually hears Heihachi Mishima's voice coming from a room. He was giving orders about locating Jin. Just as Xiaoyu was about to sneak into the room, a man dressed in all white emerged and pushed her back. "Take me to Jin," Xiaoyu demanded unflinchingly. The man stood there for a moment before ordering Xiaoyu to follow him. He led her to the roof, then silently turned towards her and readied himself to fight. Xiaoyu took up her fighting stance and said, "So that's how it is. If you think I'm just some little girl, you are sadly mistaken."
なめんなよ。
Round one. Fight. KO. Round two. Fight.
Come on. Boom, done.
You win.
どう？ただの女の子じゃないって分かった？
D'accordo. permetto di venire con me. Ma dovrai essere pronta.
分かってる。でももう迷わないって決めたから。
Bene. Era quello che volevo sentirti dire.
Claudio.
Niente di più facile.
The Mysterious Marksmen, a secret society of exorcists, have exerted a profound influence on European history for hundreds of years. The most powerful exorcist of the current generation is Claudio, who was visited in Mishima Zaibatsu as their groups joined forces to subdue a certain devil. After sharing information on the target, Kazuya Mishima and Jin Kazama, Claudio left the control room only to be confronted by a young girl. He was about to call the guards when she demanded to be taken to Jin. A plan sprung to Claudio's mind. He led her to the roof and with a grin prepared to fight her in combat.
Combattere contro di te.
Round 1. Fight. KO.
Round 1 done.
Round 2. Fight. All set. You win.
Come desideri. Puoi unirti a me. Credo che sarai un'ottima esca per la mia preda.
Katrina.
Deixa eu te testar pra ver se você luta de verdade.
Katrina Owls both lost her parents at a young age and spent several years at an orphanage before being adopted by a man she never met. Initially, Katrina rebelled against him using a whole manner of profane language, but the man's kindness and patience eventually wore her hard exterior down. In time, they grew close, though her penchant for profane language remained. One day, Katrina's adoptive father vanished. As much as she wanted to find him, she lacked the money to do so, but then she learned of the King of Iron Fist tournament. The savant techniques the man had taught her gave Katrina hope that one day she could win and take the cash prize. The day of the first match arrived, and the arena was none other than the roof of G Corporation's Millennial Tower. When Katrina first laid eyes on her opponent, all she saw was an enormous hulk of muscle. There was no way he could be human.
Cai pra dentro, sua aberração.
Round 1. Fight.
Round 1.
Round 2.
Fight. Good night. There's more to this story than we know. One of G Corporation weapons divisions entered the biological weapon Gigas into the King of Iron Fist tournament for 2 reasons. First, to pit the strength of the next generation humanoid weapon against a similar weapon of G Corp's, and second, to prove Heihachi Mishima. Ironically, the first battle was staged on the rooftop of G Corporation's own Millennial Tower, possibly in retaliation for their affront to Heihachi. Unmoved by the striking beauty of the skyscraper, Gigas awaited his victim.
Round 1. Fight. KO. Round 2. Fight.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Done. And we got a perfect.
Que é isso? Volta aqui! Não.
Ooh. Master Raven. As an agent of the UN's Intelligence Bureau, Master Raven embarked on her latest top-secret mission: infiltrate the King of Iron Fist tournament and confront her assigned targets. In the frozen area that was to be her battleground, Master Raven stood, arms folded, face-to-face with her subordinate sworn enemy, who simply narrowed his eyes and took up a fighting pose.
Huh. You're that Russian.
Round 1. Fight. KO. Round 2. Fight.
Boom!
You win.
This is the guy that gave Raven all that trouble? That imbecile needs to be retrained.
Dragonov entered the King of Iron Fist tournament on army orders. At the designated area of his fighting match, a woman appeared before him. There was something strangely familiar about her. It didn't take Dragonov long to figure out who she was, and he wasted no time readying himself for combat.
Round 1. Fight.
Done.
You win.
Oh. Boom. Hadouken. Paul Phoenix.
No pain, no gain.
The golden boy of the martial arts world stepped into the ring. The excitement of the crowd is palpable, but this time when his opponent's name rang over the arena's loudspeaker, he could only scratch his head in disbelief. It was Akuma again. However, Akuma was nowhere to be seen. Word went round that the bear had dropped out of the tournament. The ring announcer informed the spectators of a last-minute change to the fight. Revealed Paul awaited the entrance of his long-anticipated human opponent.
Round one. Fight. KO. Round two. Fight. You win.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You stink!
Oh, damn. Ooh. Panda. Panda, Ling Xiaoyu's pet and personal bodyguard, was concerned because she hadn't seen Xiaoyu since she left in search of Jin Kazama. Panda deduced that Xiaoyu was likely at the King of Iron Fist tournament match, so she headed off to the arena. Panda approached the staff entrance and inquired with the guards as to where Xiaoyu's whereabouts were, but was hurriedly ushered inside. Believing Xiaoyu to be somewhere up ahead, she bound down a darkened corridor towards the light ahead, but to her charging, it wasn't Panda's dearest Xiaoyu who waited her, but an unfamiliar boorish man with a bizarre hairstyle. Enraged by the man's attitude and absence of her owner, Panda's fury reached a boiling point.
Round one. Fight.
Come on, come on, come on, come on!
KO.
You got beaten up with a bear, mate.
Round two.
A bear.
Fight.
Oh, damn it.
KO. You win.
Bow! And off she goes. Lucky Chloe up next.
Are you ready?
Lucky Chloe is a pop sensation in the face of G Corporation brand. When a mysterious man burst into G Corp and took out guards after guards with dance-like techniques, Lucky Chloe fiercely walked right up to him and blocked his path. She threw the man one of her trademark smiles and issued him a challenge: fight her, and if he loses, he'll have to work as a background dancer. Without caring if he accepted the condition or not, she prepared for the battle anyway.
Lucky. Kuroe da yo.
Round one.
Proper anime.
Fight. KO. Round two. Fight. KO.
Done.
You win.
Lucky. Kuroe da yo. Huh? おっさん何グダグダやってんだよ。
Step it up a gear, old
私が
man.
バックダンサーにしてやるんだから、これくらいちゃんとやれよ。なんだよ、文句あんのかてめえ。負けた分際で私の言うことが聞けねえのかよ。ほら、もう一回。ラッキーくらいだよ。おらこっちも好きでやってんじゃねえんだよ。てめえアイドル舐めてんだろ。プロの世界は甘くねえんだよ、このうどん頭野郎。ほら、もう一回。ラッキーくらいだよ。ダメだってんだろ。手がこう、腰もこう。そうだ、本番では助走させっからな。
You're wearing a girly costume. Oh, damn. Eddie. You need to get your retribution, man. Let's see what you did.
Vamos lá.
Eddie Gordo went to the G Corporation to exact his revenge on Kazuya Mishima for murdering his father. After he'd taken out a crowd of guards, a young girl in a strange outfit stood before him and struck a pose. "You're not getting past me, old man," tee-hee. What did she mean by old man? Confused and irritated by her appearance and disrespectful tone, but aware of the threat she poses, Eddie prepared to fight.
Pense que eu vou pegar leve com você.
Round one. Fight.
Capo Lee!
KO.
Done.
Round two. Fight.
Come on. Come on! We nearly did it!
KO.
Done.
You win.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm.
Me diz onde está o Kazuya. Tá brincando comigo?
Pega, pega, pi.
Droga!
King. King is not only a masked professional wrestler, but also the proud owner of an orphanage. Recently, King swore friend and comrade Craig Bardock, as well as the man King killed his master, both enraged in a bloody fight. which left them with critical injuries. King desperately wanted to come to his friend's rescue, but knew that their opponent wouldn't come cheap. Operations wouldn't come cheap. At the same time, King's orphanage was in a constant danger owing to the war that raged between G Corporation and the Mishima Zaibatsu. Finding himself caught between a rock and a hard place, King entered the King of Iron Fist tournament with his eyes set firmly on the cash prize.
Round one. Fight.
Ooh.
KO. Round two. Fight.
Oh, nearly. Nearly. Come on.
KO. You win.
Boom. Alright, let's see what happens with Jack 7. It was no secret that G Corporation was locked in a power struggle with the Mishima Zaibatsu. However, within G Corporation itself, another battle was raging, the battle to create the ultimate next-generation humanoid weapon. On one side was the development team behind Jack series, led by Jane. On the other side was the research team responsible for Gigas, a bio-enhanced super weapon. With his massive size and uncanny mobility, Gigas was hailed for his versatility in combat, and some saw him as the more capable of dislodging the Jack series from its position as G Corporation's premier weapon. Both teams entered their weapons into the King of Iron Fist tournament to decide which was the best of all.
Round one. Fight.
Don't forget, people, if you want to vote in the poll, and if you're enjoying this video, leave a like on the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on post notifications if you haven't done already, because that way you'll be informed each and every single time I upload new content. I think I'm going to do a prediction video at some point for the new players for Tekken 8. We have some alpha footage that we can analyze, and yeah, I'm hoping that we have a bigger roster than what we have in Tekken 7, even though Tekken 7's roster is pretty big. Would like to see some returning characters, so watch out for that video in the future. Alright, well, we just smashed up King very quickly. Well, Lucky Chloe defeated Jack 7. I don't know if that's canon. Leo. Leo entered the King of Iron Fist tournament in the hopes of uncovering more about his deceased mother, who had been a researcher at the Mishima Zaibatsu. When Leo learned that his battle arena was to be a Zaibatsu-owned dojo, he couldn't believe his luck. However, when he got there, the dojo was in ruins. The moonlight poured in through the holes in the walls, and the roof illuminating the floor with an eerie beauty. A short while later, a strange floating silhouette appeared and slowly glided towards Leo. The silhouette had held a sword in its left hand and rotated at a mind-bending speed. What the hell was that thing? It looked like some kind of flying squid or octopus. Was it a demon? Then it finally dawned on Leo. The bizarre creature was his opponent. Cautiously, he prepared to fight.
Round one. Fight.
Come on. Good night.
Round two.
Let's keep going.
Fight.
Come on. Come on.
Was ist das für ein Ding? Ein Tintenfisch? Ein Oktopus? Ein Ninja?
Hm.
Das ist also dieser komische Typ, bei dem alle reden. Japan ist so verrückt. Nein, ich muss mich auf meine Mission konzentrieren. Bis später, komischer Oktopus-Typ.
He's like, I'm not dealing with that. I'm out of here. Yoshimitsu. While Heihachi reinstated that the CEO of Mishima Zaibatsu, Yoshimitsu, sensed something bad was afoot and so entered the King of Iron Fist tournament as a way of confirming his suspicions. His infiltration point would be the Mishima Dojo. It seemed like the perfect location for collecting intelligence, and even though the building would act as the arena for his tournament match, Yoshimitsu approached from the air just in case. When he encountered the Mishima Zaibatsu, the place looked as though it had been hit by a typhoon. Waiting for Yoshimitsu in the gloom was a charming young martial artist. Yoshimitsu couldn't say for sure, but he thought he seemed a little tense. Though his looks were enchanting, he also seemed dangerous. Yoshimitsu braced himself for a battle.
Round one. Fight.
I ain't gonna lie, they've made this iteration of Yoshimitsu look like that monster from Pan Labyrinth. If you've seen Pan Labyrinth, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, research it for yourself. It's and it's a kids movie. It's a bit mad.
KO. Round two. Fight.
I love the step through. I like the fact that they've kept that as well. Throughout all the games, you can run and step through someone if they're laying on the ground. It's just like a little insult. There we go.
You win.
Yeah.
Hilfe! Ein komischer Oktopus-Typ ist hinter mir her.
Hmm. Shazin.
أريد معرفة الحقيقة.
Shaheen, should I say, works for a private military firm specializing in the provision of security services. During his time in the army, he earned a reputation as an expert in one-to-one combat. One day, his friend and owner of the company involved in the oil industry died suddenly under mysterious circumstances. In the post-mortem, death was listed as an accident, but Shaheen suspected foul play when his friend's company was suddenly bought by G Corporation and the management of all family members resigned. He began to investigate the matter, and a relative of a close friend confided in him that a demonic man was pulling the strings at G Corporation. Kazuya Mishima Shabin struggled to believe a real demon could exist, but his investigations revealed that Kazuya could be worse than any of Hell's creations. Shaheen was torn between should he take revenge for his friend's death by destroying the demon or not. Racked with doubt, he embarked on a solo mission to infiltrate G Corporation.
لكن سأقاتلك إذا اضطررت.
Round 1. Fight. Perfect. Round 2. Fight.
Oh, nearly. I tried to go for a second perfect, but there goes Kazuya.
أصبح الانتقام أمرا شائعا والرحمة شيئا استثنائيا. ومع ذلك سأختار طريق الرحمة. بالقيام بذلك سيتم الإعفاء عني أيضا لعدم قيامي بإنقاذ صديقي. كازويا، ما رأيك في العمل معي؟ ماذا؟
You're lucky, because that's not what Kazuya would do.
إذا كان الأمر كذلك فيجب أن لا أدعه يهرب في المرة القادمة التي أقابله فيها. لأجل أصدقائي، لأجل العالم أجمع، علي إيقافه.
Up next, we have Josie.
I got this.
Josie Rizal tried her best to support her family by balancing two jobs, one as a model and one as a professional kickboxer. One day, she was out running on her usual training course along the mountain roads when she's suddenly confronted by an enormous, hairy creature. Josie screams and then fled, half in tears, but the creature remained hot on her heels. Realizing she had little chance of escape, Josie abruptly came to a halt and then turned trembling to face her foe.
Oh gosh. I'm getting nervous.
Round 1. Fight.
Boom. That's Josie down.
Fight.
Come on. Come on. Ah. Come on. I hate it when he does that bear stuff.
KO. You win.
You scared me. You came after me so you could give me this? Are you okay? Stay with me!
Okay, that was a bit of a weird character episode. And last but not least, we have Akuma, Miguel, and a couple more people, and we're done. The Mishima Zaibatsu dispatched Akuma along with the Tekken force to the Philippines on the pretext of helping out with relief efforts as a monstrous typhoon. With the Zaibatsu financial clout behind them, Akuma and the soldiers visited the stricken areas, gaining the trust of the locals. Before long, local youths, jobless after the disaster, came forward asking to join the Tekken force. A recruitment test was quickly established, and many young hopefuls went to test locations deep in the jungle. Unbeknownst to them, the final test was to fight against none other than Kuma itself, so buckled under the pressure and quit. Others were eliminated, but in the end, one candidate remained, an athletic young woman. However, the girl took one look at Akuma and burst into tears. Akuma felt bad, but attacked anyway in order to complete his assignment.
Round one. Fight.
The classic bear hug. I love that move. Hey, it would have stood on me, but I love that move. Oh, not nice. Murder on the beat, so it's not nice.
Get away from me! Don't eat me!
Just gave her a heart attack, you know. It looks like he was wearing some sort of like battle design exoskeleton suit. Miguel up next.
Sigue así y te acabarán matando.
After losing his sister in an airstrike ordered by the Mishima Zaibatsu in the direction of Jin Kazama, Miguel Cabello Rojo devoted his life to seeking revenge. However, when Jin suddenly vanished without a trace, Miguel's life purpose disappears along with him. After that point forward, Miguel began to wander like a spectre from battle-torn to a battle-torn town. One day, as he assembled through rows of dilapidated buildings, he stumbled across a strangely familiar hooded man. There in front of him was none other than his sworn enemy Jin. Consumed by both euphoria and rage, Miguel becomes frenzied and goes in for the kill.
Round one. Fight. KO. Round two. Fight.
Boom.
¿No me reconoces? No, supongo que no.
Oh, get your retribution, Miguel.
Mishima Zaibatsu mató a mi hermana en un ataque aéreo como si no fuera nada. Aún no has sufrido lo suficiente como para merecer la muerte. No, todavía no. No hasta que estés lleno de esperanza. Entonces te mataré como si no fueras nada. No te atrevas a morir hasta que llegues.
Steve. Steve Fox has plenty of run-ins with the Mishima Zaibatsu, but he never gave up his search for information about his past. Though his mother's identity remained a mystery, one name in particular began to crop up again and again, which was Nina Williams. Believing she knew something, Steve began investigating her whereabouts until he came with a promising lead. The information led him to an imposing cathedral. As he considered how best to proceed, a figure appeared from inside dressed in a tattered wedding gown. It was Nina, who seemed to be running away from something Steve told her about, but she ignored him and fled. Determined not to let the opportunity escape him, he blocked her path.
You will talk to me, even if I have to make you.
Round 1. Fight. KO. Round 2. Fight.
Ah! I used to hate Steve just due to the fact that he can only punch, but he has some very powerful punches if you know how to do them.
My earliest memory is of a Mishima Zaibatsu laboratory. I don't even know who my parents are. The only one I remember is Dr. Kleeser. She was always nice to me. I infiltrated the Mishima Zaibatsu, and for several years siphoned out intel. Unfortunately, none of it really led anywhere. But your name did come up, time and time again. So tell me, what's your connection to the lab? To me?
Those labs were used by the Mishima Zaibatsu to create super soldiers. Their goal was to physically and genetically engineer the ultimate soldier. Of course, it all ended in failure. But judging by your left arm, you must be one of the survivors. At the time, the Mishima Zaibatsu had captured me and forced me into cryosleep. It's only recently that I discovered my genes were used in their experiments.
Wait, so does that mean you are my mother?
Don't get the wrong idea. You'll never be my son. I couldn't care less about you. If anything, you're a thorn in my side.
Get out of here. I'll take care of this.
Nina.
Going somewhere?
After failing to apprehend Jin Kazama, Nina Williams decided it was time for her and the Mishima Zaibatsu to go their separate ways. On her first private assassination job, she was tasked with infiltrating a mafia wedding, posing as the bride. During the ceremony, a firefight broke out where Nina took out all her targets. However, the commotion had attracted the Tekken force, who had been dispatched to suppress the violence, and they gave chase with the Tekken force in hot pursuit. Nina made her escape. That's then she bumped into a man she found vaguely familiar. The man wouldn't leave her alone. He seemed to have something he wanted to say to her. Nina decided that a confrontation was the best chance of her escape.
Step aside.
Round 1. Fight. KO. Round 2.
Sorted. Well, that was easy.
You win.
And the final one is Elisa. After this, we're going to be done, people. Elisa was supposed to take a short nap, but she ended up sleeping for 600 years. Upon awakening, she found that her powers as a vampire had faded to nothing. In an attempt to restore her strength, she consumed blood of several victims. However, it wasn't enough. What she needed was the blood of someone with an intensive spiritual force. Maybe then she would return to her peak condition, but did such a person even exist in this era? No one sprang to mind. Left with no other choice, Elisa headed to the old HQ of the clan's exorcist, who had caused her no end of trouble when she last prowled the night. Perhaps some of their descendants were still alive.
Time for breakfast.
Round 1. Fight. KO. Round 2. Fight.
Boom!
You win.
You call yourself an exorcist? I'm beat. Gonna get home and rest. Je t'ai enfin trouvé. Tu étais emprisonnée sous la propriété de Rochefort. Je suis ta sœur. Caesar? Yeah, right. I was born 1,000 years and 4 months ago. You're about a millennium too young to be... Hey! Like I was saying, I slept a few centuries beneath your estate and... Réveille-toi! Ne t'avise pas de t'endormir en ma présence. You just don't shut up, do you? As I was saying, the Rochefort family and I... Tu devrais boire moins de sang et plus de café.
Alright, so I've completed every chapter episode, and I've done the main story now. So, thank you once again for watching another episode of GNG News. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on those post notifications. If you haven't done already, leave a like on this video if you think it's worth leaving a like on. And yeah, I will catch up with you lovely people in another episode real soon. I'll probably come back tomorrow. I might do one this evening. Got to pop off now. Got a couple of bits and pieces to do. And yeah, I'll see you all in another episode. Keep on smiling, never give up on yourselves. And remember guys, nobody makes it out alive, so don't take life too seriously.